We're back. Plane flying over apparently. Well, Betty's seen better days by the looks of it, eh? ESC went up in smoke. Had a bad connection. Told by my buddy Jason, which ended up welding my FETs. And she's done. So we're gonna give Betty her much deserved rebuild. This is the introduction video to it. Hopefully the motor's okay, but we'll get into that. It was just a regular old bash session. I know it looks a little bit rough, but that's how we play up here in Canada. Rough with them. So we'll get her going. Bummer is I killed one of my Gen Aces when my FETs blew up. This thing here has two cells, cell 2 and cell 3, that are dead. It's unfortunate. So we'll get back to you when I get Betty on the bench and going. Alright, so here is Betty back in the shop. I took all the electronics out of it outside. Try to get rid of this stink. Here's our culprit. Max6 burnt up. It's in this bag because it smells bad. Talking to my buddy Jason at WFO Speed Freaks, X-Maxx Speed Freaks group. We were talking and figure I got a loose connection from either inside these bullets here, or these ones here look okay. These were popping loose a couple times on the run and cutting power out, but somehow it got a loose connection and welded my FETs shut. So when I plugged this in to the motor, I had it on a grade there. I'll see if I can post that video up with all the motor wires plugged in to the ESC here. The brakes were on with no batteries. I had this cut off. It was kind of weird. So it took out my ESC. And check out this. She's a 2S now. Cell 1 good. 0 cell 2. 0.531 on cell 3. And cell 4 is okay. I tried the old boost on it, but the NIMP, hook a NIMP up and try to NIMP battery and get it to go, but no dice. She's done. So lesson learned there. I think I'm going to try to get some better connections involved in bashing trucks anyway. So here she is. This is going to be the basic teardown that I always do. I've already taken a few screws out, so obviously this is the easiest way. Front, rear, just those two, and the 4 on the bottoms, both ends. Center out, wash bucket, and then here she is. And there's your new one. So we'll get her swapped over to her new black chassis. I think I better check out the electronics here first. I forgot about that. Grab my remote, do a little test fire, make sure nothing else is burnt. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. This is a really, this is a Plano 737 box. Fits everything, just beautiful for out in the road. Whole drawer, just X-Maxx, one piece of everything in there. Works awesome. Oh, and this is the best part. GoPro case fits right in there, and this is just all the regular on the go tools up top. Nice. Check this out though. It actually fits my Spectrum for my 1100 truck, and then my regular Traxxas right up here. Temp gun, bundle of zip ties. Awesome. It's nice to have finally found a case that works for everything. carries it mostly everything anyways. All right, we'll commence with an electrical test. All right, gonna test the electronics after the fire, or the ESC malfunction. Yeah, fire. There we go. Okay, connected. Servo's alive. Motor works. Holy crap. Fans work. Awesome. Temperature gauge works. Okay, let's see if the Wi-Fi module got fried. Kind of goofy getting this thing hooked up. Wrestler, there you are. Holy crap, it worked. It still works. Wow. That was lucky days. Look at that. That's awesome. All right. We'll continue with the rebuild. Beautiful. Okay, so once again, let's just make sure we're lined up okay. There we go. That'll do. Okay, same as one of my previous videos, but we go through again. You can see here, these here, right here, these four longer ones go through the sides here, 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 and the rest of these are all just for the tower brace right here and the battery trays. So this here just pulls out. So you got two here, two here, two here, two here, and then these two center ones, which a lot of people forget those ones, and it makes it ignorant to try to get it out. Whatever you do, don't take these out when you do it. It doesn't help you at all. Just leave them attached. Sometimes it gets in there a little bit ignorant with the dirt and stuff like that if you're in ballparks, and that ball diamond stuff is gnarly. So this is going back in just as it is. Just need to clean up. But that's all the screws, just holding the tower brace in. So I've taken the rest of these and loosened them off. So you don't have to watch me undoing a bunch of screws. And see how much easier it is to work on everything once the tower brace is gone. Put that in there. The nuts I have here are out of my, I use the RPM hinge pins, bolts in here, because this truck here, we're going to find out how well my dual tie bar mod worked, because this has been in for 5 months now on this truck since I last rebuilt it. We rebuild them usually twice a year. So we're going to find out, see how it looks. It looks pretty good in there, eh? I put spacers on this truck. Actually, this is the first one I did. So commenced to taking our corners off. Get them out of the way. Clean the corners up separately. Rebuild my shocks. They getting a little greasy down there. Been 6 months. I think I'll probably put drive cups and everything. And I think I'm going to treat this truck. I got a set of, managed to score a set of original spiral 6S gears. These are nice hardened gears. I'm going to try these in it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll check back in here shortly after I take some more boring bolts out. Alright, here's the big reveal to see if I broke anything with my after adding my dual tie bar mod. So front is ready to go. Look at that. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos, check them out, but I'm not nice to this truck at all. Look at that. Looks good. Damn, it's windy out there. Needs a cleaning, but look at that. Horns are still on solid. Man, I think that's the way to go, boys. I like it. Alright. Success. I can't believe it. Right on. Alright. Obviously a pile more screws is out. So let's see what the gears look like in the old girl. This is going to be okay because I just had the cush out and changed over to my Hot Racing 50 tooth. Just because I was running plastic in this for the longest time, but I think I learned my throttle control good enough now. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. Cups are a little wore. Fluid seems pretty good still. That's cool. Looks really good so far. Nice. Very nice so far. Okay. Spin it around, get that shaft out before I can pull that out. Wow. Can't believe it didn't get any water in there. All the snow this thing's seen, that's actually quite incredible. Huh. I don't know what to say about that. Dry in there too. Ooh, front cups are gouged a lot worse. Holy cow. Fluid seems okay. What the fuck is that? Oh wow. Look at that. The drive shaft been coming up and hammering into the plastic right there and gouging it out. That's wild. Wonder why that is. Man. No water or rust at all. It's freaking me out, man. And this guy is just a little marked up, but not bent. Truck's too light to bend it. As far as I'm concerned. 21 pounder. Let's see. This was getting, oh, there's a little bit of our rust there on that one. Oh, yeah. She's dry. Hear that? Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, look at the metal. That's recent. Or there's that plastic. That's got to be... Hold on here. Here's my magnet. I think that's plastic filings more than it is metal. Where are you? Magnet on a stick. Yeah, that's all. Huh. It's all plastic dust. That's wild. Where's my gear cover? Oh, right there. Oh, yeah. It's just plastic dust. She was getting rusty on that back one. No, she's dried out. Well, it's a good thing I tore it down. Just one bearing. Doesn't take much to ruin your X-Max's day, but I'm surprised that it's not worse than it is. Nice. All right. Cleaning shall commence now. All right. We're back here with everything cleaned up and disassembled. This is what an X-Maxx looks like on the table. Corners I still gotta wash and do the bearings and everything and change the axles and stuff. But what brings us here is on Sunday, this X-Maxx, known as Betty, it caught fire. And, well, the ESC, there you go. A little bit of a problem there. Check out what it did to my beautiful Gen Z's battery. That's reading, I don't know if you can see that there. 8.4 volts, 3.9 on cell 1, 0 cell 2, 0.528 on cell 3, and 3.99 on cell 4. So that's junk. And the ESC's junk. And the ESC smells really bad, so I'm going to shove that back in the bag here. I don't want that stink in my shop. So apparently, talking with my buddy Jason at X-Maxx Speed Freaks, he figures a little bit rough driving this, as per usual. But I was having connections popping because I was doing pretty big backflips and such, and popping my terminals back in, my QS8s. And I would have had one kind of come partially loose, he figures. And while the engine was spinning, generating power, trying to put it somewhere, couldn't get it into the batteries because they were disconnected, so the FET's welded shut. And here we are. No biggie. We'll rebuild it. See if I can get the battery warranted. Probably not, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to do a quick little tips on these X-Maxxes of what I do. This is all just my opinion and what I do with mine. This truck, when it's all together, only weighs 21 pounds. So it doesn't really break a lot of parts. That's without batteries. I run stock tires mostly. That's the double tie bar mod there. So all I do is simply take a drill bit and drill these through, and then I rethread them on the other side to accept this one. I put these spacers in, but after I did my other two trucks, you don't really need these in here as long as it's threaded in. Set an A-arm upper control arm up in here just to get your distance right, snug them up, and you're good to go. It's been working beauty. This is 5 months on this mod now, and I have not replaced one shock tower or upper bulkhead in that 5 months. Lots of other parts. 3 out of my 4 axles on those corners over there are bent. Broke lots of bumper supports, upper and lower, but that's nothing major. So the other thing I wanted to say, I was doing my center diff last night, and I kind of put my glob on there of the 20 million, which you guys all know how thick this stuff is. It's just like an earplug, but not as, it'll actually self-level like glass in there. And I didn't wait long enough for it to go down. I thought it was full. I put it in there, and then I did my regular pop it in and see if it's tight enough, and I could spin it like nothing. I pulled it out and surprised how after overnight it settled. I didn't get enough into it. So I would suggest, once you get it in there, let it sit for a few hours. Make sure it's good and full, because this one here is nice now. That's what we want. Keep the front end from blooming. Oh, I can smell that. It burnt the ESC just the time it was out. It's horrible. So that's that. And then we got the bell crank mod. You put your a nut down in here. They come with a 12 millimeter, I think it is, long screw to put in there, but it just threads into the plastic and it strips out pretty easy. So just get a 16 millimeter long one. Put your nut in here. You're good to go. It'll never pop loose again. And I've been messing around with these ESCs. When I put them in, I don't like gluing them down. So we came up with these little 3D printed plates. So this is what I've been using. So it's got the holes to screw it on, countersunk. Screw it on to the ESC, and then you use the factory bolt holes here to set it down in and screw it down. They are a little tight in the sidewall of the harness when you try to put them in here. So what I did instead is I put this in here with the guide holes in it, using them as studs through the original holes. I drill them out. I haven't done this chassis yet, but I'll be doing it shortly. And then I bolt through 4 through bolts. And then now that makes it so much easier, because then it's a bolt in, bolt out ESC again, which is way better than messing around trying to rip them things out. I don't know if you guys ever had that happen, but man, that 3M tape, when it sticks good. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's that one time you want it to let loose and it won't. Okay, all these bearings and all my rebuilds, I've gone through, I won't say the names of them, but a bunch of different ones, and the only ones I find that are really any good are Jim's. Jim's actually come greased. I've actually pulled the seals out and greased the other brands, but I would definitely just stick with Jim's. They are awesome. As far as fans, around here in Canada, it's hard to get fans. You guys down south there got a lot more access. My buddy with, again, those ESC plates, Aaron Harris at Harris Racing, he prints all these for me, and we come up with some pretty cool designs. The easiest fans for us to get are these 8-volt ProTech 30 millimeter fans. Put them up on here. It actually sits it up off of the heatsink a little better and just blows the air right through there. It's amazing. And these two on here work awesome. And we just cradle it with your basic cross brace print for the center tower to tower brace. I throw in a micro switch, and I like to switch them on and off when I do stupid stuff, so I don't have the blades spinning. If the blades are spinning and you land on your roof, you typically blow the blades off. And running the module, anybody who is just getting into this, using this Traxxas module is fabulous. As far as I'm concerned, just for the simple fact, if you're going to run the stock setup, which this truck runs the 1600 kV, the old school BXL motor that come in them, you can run and leave the temp sensor hooked up to it. So it may not be an accurate number, but you can set it to vibrate your phone, and that way you can check with your temp gun and make sure you're okay and not burn this guy up, which you don't want to do that. And then the other thing is endpoints. All I run is Traxxas servos, 2085, easy peasy. Out of the 3 years I've been running these X-Maxes now, I've only ever stripped out one plastic gear servo, and it's this one, I think, and I just swapped it out for metals, and it's fine. But just set your endpoints and you'll be all good to go. And then the other big thing for these X-Maxes is venting your tires. Tape, see that? Gorilla tape in there. Gorilla tape the holes. That's been in there for over 3 years. And I wash these, and these just get mangled. And then you just take I use a soldering iron, poke 4 holes into it. Right there. And these still come back at original weight. They're 585. And you know, I've had a couple come, I check them all the time for the glue, make sure they'll, you know, spin the glue off sometimes. But I don't know, I love these tires. I'm gonna give the sledgehammers a try. Then another cheap way to, if you want to do some gearing and do some speed running, little cheap fix is just, again, Aaron Harris at Harris Racing, or Harris Racing RC. We made up these, I made a plate just out of a piece of aluminum coated plastic. Fits on the underside of the motor. Just drill top your motor, screw that on there, and now you can, the motor gets lifted, you get a little bit more spacing for bigger gear. Just watch your temps if you're going to mess around with that, guys. Any kind of oversized gearing, you got to really watch your temps for doing speed runs and that sort of thing. And lastly, when you go to put your Max6 in these trucks, when this comes from Traxxas, this is not cut out right here. The wire, the antenna wire, comes out on a 90-degree angle, and it will not clear your Max6 when it comes to sitting in here. It sits in here like this, and your wire is going to be right up against it. So all you got to do is take your nips and nip that open so the wire comes out the bottom, and then you're good to go. No problems. So I think that's about it for that part of it. I'm going to get this stuff screwed together, and then well, I'm just going to get it put in. I'm going to throw the servo in, and then get the 2 modules together. There's the 3 modules together. These 2 are already together. You guys know how to do that. All right, so I did the back. It's pretty uneventful, except for some reason if you tighten this cover up too much, it just binds it. Some plastics are a little different on other trucks, but even this one here, I just tightened it up. I go a little bit more on it. It's incredible. I just give it a little tweak, especially this back one right here, and it just tightens it right up. Loosen it. There she goes. It's like it deforms, like the plastic gets deformed by the threads. There she is. This side here, you can see, it's pretty tight. So normally, in any normal motor vehicle, you'd have shims that you would have adjustable bearing caps here, so you could slide the crown gear left or right to make a seat with the pinion gear. But in this case, we don't. If you're loose side to side, you either wore out your cup, your spider gear casing here, and the bearing's not sitting in, like it's pushing in more, and that clearance is smaller, because you shouldn't have any side to side, and I don't. And it's pretty tight. I like that. I'll show you we get these laser cut shims again, like I was saying. Put one shim on here. I get a feel for it. It's just feels a little bit too tight for my liking. Cap on. Barely any click. So again, I'm not going to shim here. These are new spiral cut. Cool. I found a set of old stock spiral cut from the original Traxxas X-Maxx. I'm going to try those out in this beast with the 1600. Seemed fitting to me. Alright, I'll button up the other stuff on it. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here we are. We got all the electronics in, motors in, mesh is set. Hear that? Nice. Did all the electronics. So much easier when the only real main pieces that are missing now are the two shock towers and the chassis brace, which are over there. But you can see how wide open it is to get in there to do all this stuff. And then we're just going to check it out now. Fire up the remote. Bring it to life. There she goes, steering check. And she lives again. So now, at this point, we'll shut her down. That's all I use is a 8,000 milliamp battery. It lasts long enough for these 6,000s that I run. Same amount of time. 20-30 minutes, depending on how hard you're riding it, driving it. So, get my a little bit of stuff out of here. This makes it so modular too. If I blow fans, all I got to do is pop this off the chassis brace. I just keep that on there with zip ties and then do the maintenance on those. Same as the ESC one. Just undoes off the 4 here, pull it off, and then that's just my battery tray there, 3D printed. One thing I wanted to point out here though is these here you should really look at getting, is these motor washers here. It makes it much easier for adjusting your mesh. I do my mesh without the pins, but if you don't have these and you are in and out of there quite a bit, you start putting cavitation marks or dents into the plastic, and it makes it hard to slide your motor back and forth to get your mesh correct. So now at this point, all it is front and back shock towers. Oh, that's the back. get in there though. Is this back? Yep. This ain't the back, this is the front. Let's try this again. There. That's how it's supposed to go on. So there goes that. Servo cover drops on, or the servo cover drops on, and then we just drop on our chassis brace. Can't get simpler than that as far as working on it. And then I just grab my corners and rebuild my corners, which I haven't done yet. These are filthy and in need of some major maintenance. Three out of 4 of these axles are bent, so we're gonna get a new set of axles, new set of steering links, and just the move bars gotta go on, and we're off to the races again. So we'll get that on there, and then we'll go through how the this is the new upper connector. You don't use the pin anymore. These are the SEN bolts, or these are RPM bolts. Sorry, the SEN are black, so you can use the SEN bolts or the RPM hinge pin bolts. They're perfect length to put in there. All right. Corners are all rebuilt. Shocks are reconditioned. We'll go through a little rundown of how this double tie bar mod works. Still got to clean my chassis brace and my skid plates in front and rear bumper assemblies. Oh yeah, the other thing, I had 5 bearings. 5 bearings were seized. The rear axle hub bearings were seized solid, and the one bearing for my center diff, the one at the end of the drive shaft, was seized up. It's this one, or not, it wasn't seized up, but it's just dry. But these ones are seized solid. That one started spinning now. It's got grit in it. These 2 other ones, no dice, won't even turn. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Clean them out. I'm going to see if they free up a little bit better. So we'll awkwardly take these off again. Now that I know which end they go on, we'll do the rear here. A little easier. So dual tie bar mod, obviously. Just right under there. We got our bolts over here, all nice and cleaned up. Make sure our lock screw is in the back end of it there. There. This one up. My little persuader. Seeing as I bought so many upper tie bar bags, they're part number 7726. They come with 1 upper and 2 lowers, so I put new lowers in while I was at it. So that's the front. So here it is. And this, I don't have the spacer in. I just have it set loose so that it accepts these nicely. And then it goes in decently tight. And then the send pins, these are either send pins or these ones here are RPM. And normally people put them on the outer corners, down in here, and here. They come 4 in a bag for like 30 bucks. So that's the general idea. It's going to go in through there, and then we got to reach in and put the nut on, which sounds easy until you do it. Oh. There it is. That side's in. Push that over. Grab another bolt. Give it a little spinner, Emma. It's not liking my bulkhead. So many folds in the bulkhead that it's got to go through the joint from here to here to here. It just gets a little bit you get a little bit awkward sometimes. Usually it just happens on the bottom because it's got to go through so many spots as well. Come on, baby. Loosen this off a little bit here. Holy moly. There it goes. All good. Showed it the hard way. It's not all peaches and cream. So there, jam that in too far. It's easier to start the nut when it's out a little bit. These little Traxxas wrenches work pretty good for this. Nope, sometimes. If not, then I just hold it with the tweezers. This is where it gets a little bit ignorant with fat hands, fat fingers. Come back a little bit more. Can be a bugger. And there she goes. Can't really see what I'm doing there, eh? So there's that one in there. Try to get a better angle on this one. This one here, there's quite a bit more room to get in there and put it in. Just hold it on there. Make sure your threads are nice and clean, obviously. And there it goes. And let's do it the way I would be doing it without the camera on. And there it is. One dual tie bar mod installed in the rear. That's nice, eh? I like it. Alright, front is a carbon copy of the rear. So I'll get to doing that. Then I'll make some sort of a closing little caption video with this when it's all done. I don't think I have any more things that I can point out that might be helpful to anybody. That's all I really try to do, is try to make it a little easier for everybody and inexpensive. This hobby's expensive enough with an expensive rig like this too, eh? All right, back in a second. So, all in all, this truck's had the dual tie bar mod in it, and the last time I was in it was 5 months ago. I went through 2 good axles still, 2 bent, and 5 bearings. I'm not really worried about the axles. I kind of expect it with the way I drive, but the bearings kind of bum me out. If I didn't catch it right now and I would have kept going for a couple of more rides, it would have ruined the hubs or the bearing carrier. It just happened at just the right time, I guess. I don't know. Strange. So now, time for this bad boy. Just make sure all your stuff is nicely tucked out of the way there. You can see down center line of it. Makes it a lot easier for setting this thing in. And direction. Make sure Mr. Direction here has it in the right direction, eh? Just like when he was putting the putting the shock tires on. And it should just go just like that. And then that's it. Got another 16 screws to hold that in, which is freaking crazy. And this bad boy gotta go on there. And my battery tray up in there. That's it. I like Betty. Betty's a cool rig. Nice and light. That might do it for this video, I think. You guys know what she looks like when she's all dressed up, so I'm going to commence to trying to use my new editing program. We'll see how that works out. Peace out.